This video is going to be an introduction to some geometry terms. We are going to talk about points, lines, and planes. A point is a location. It has no size or shape. We always use a capital letter to name a point, and the example that we have is point A. A line is made up of points. So, there are just infinite numbers of points along this line. Any 2 points can form a line, and a line has no thickness or width. You name a line using any 2 points on the line or a lowercase script letter. An example for this would be you could write XY and draw a line on top, or you could call it line XY, or you could call it line N, and it needs to be a cursive or script N. So collinear points are points that lie on the same plane. So co means same, linear means line, so same line points, points that are on the same line. Non-collinear points are points that do not lie on the same line. And since it takes 2 points to make a line, any 2 points can make a line, you have to have 3 points to say these are not in a line. So again, not same line. So not on the same line. A plane is a flat surface made up of points, and any 3 points make up a plane. A plane extends indefinitely in all directions. So over here, we're given boundaries, but that's just to tell us, hey, there's a plane here. You should understand, it's understood that it goes this way, this way, this way. It goes forever and ever in all directions. You name a plane by any three non-collinear points, so they cannot be in the same line on the plane, or an uppercase script letter. So that's this P value P over here. That is the name of the plane because it is uppercase and script. So we could name this plane by saying plane P, and it has to be a script P, or we could name this plane JKL. And the order of those doesn't matter. I just put them in alphabetical order. And here we have coplanar points. So coplanar points are points that are on the same plane. This is a typo, so you should put lie on the same plane. Non-coplanar means not same plane. Okay, so points that are not on the same plane. And you have to have at least 4 points to prove they're not on the same plane, because if you have 3 points, that makes up a plane. All right, 2 lines intersect at a point, and 2 planes intersect at a line. All right, so some applications of this. We need to name 4 collinear points. There's only one line in this diagram that has 4 points on it. So the only correct answer for this is H, N, K, I. Those are 4 collinear points because they are all on the same line. A line that contains point M. So point M is here. So we need this line. We can name this several things. We can call it line P. We can call it line MO, MN, NO, any combination. So I'm going to put a few of those options here. We could call it line P. That has to be a cursive little p. Or we could name it line MN, or we could name it MO with the line and arrows on top. So all of those would be acceptable. You do not have to have all of them on your paper, but I want you to see that there are multiple correct answers to some of these questions. A line that contains points H and K. So if we look at our picture, here's H, here's K. This line is what we want to look at. I'm going to say that that is line R, and that is a cursive R. Another name for line Q. So line Q is here. It wants another name, so we need to use 2 points. I'm going to say JK with the line on top. So that means line JK. The intersection of lines P and R. So this is line P, this is line R. They intersect at N. And you can just put N as long as it's capitalized. All right, number 2, a line containing point F. So here is point F. We can use any of these points, D, E, or F, to name the line, or we can name it with this lowercase j. So I'm going to call it line DF. Another name for line K, same idea. Here's line K. It contains C, E, and B. We can use any 2 of those. I'm going to say line CE. A plane containing point A. So here is point A. Our plane is labeled by this cursive M, or we can name a plane by any 3 non-collinear points. So like A, D, and E, because they are not all 3 on the same line, we can use that to name our plane. So I'm going to put both of those here because we haven't had an example with a plane yet. So plane M or plane ADE. All right, an example of 3 non-collinear points. So 3 points that are not on the same line. So the only thing you can't use are DEF or BEC. You can use any other combination of points. So I'm going to use DFC. Those are 3 points that are not all 3 on the same line. The intersection of plane M and line K. So plane M is this whole flat surface right here. Line K goes up through the middle almost of M, and it intersects at point E. So we can just put E here. Number 3 says to name 3 coplanar points. So coplanar means that they all touch the same flat surface. So an obvious one to me is ZVW. That's the front of our pyramid here. So that's what I'm going to put down. We have Z, V, and W. There are lots of correct answers to this though. A plane containing point X. So point X is here. There are several planes in this picture. The one plane is R, one plane is the bottom flat surface, but all of these flat surfaces on the cone are planes. Any flat surface can be a plane. So I'm going to say, though, that plane R contains X because X is touching plane R. So plane R. The intersection of plane R and plane ZVY. Okay, so ZVY is this side panel of the pyramid. And we want to look at where it touches plane R. So plane R is the whole bottom of the pyramid and all this extra on the outside. And ZVY is here. So if you look, the line VY is on the triangle side and it's on the plane R. So that intersection is a line. It is line VY, sorry. I thought it said W. Okay. How many planes appear in the figure? So we have plane R that's on the bottom, and that's the same as the bottom of the pyramid. That bottom sits on plane R. But then we have each side of the pyramid. So we have 1 side, 2 side, 3 side, 4 side. So there are, and then plus the bottom. So that's 5 total planes. How many planes can contain point W? Point W touches this side, it touches the front, and it touches the base. So 3 different planes contain point W. Number 4, the intersection of lines L and M. So line L is here. Line M is on the plane Q, and they intersect at point E. So we can just write E. Another name for plane Q. So plane Q is right, this is where Q is, so that means this is the plane we're talking about. When you name a plane, you have to use 3 non-collinear points. So the points cannot be on the same line. So I'm going to use, we're going to say this is plane, and then I'm going to use F, G, I, because those F, G, and I are not all 3 on the same line. Are points D and E collinear or coplanar? So here is D and here is E. They are on different planes, so they cannot be coplanar. That would mean same plane. They are on the same line, so they are collinear. Collinear. How many times do planes P and Q intersect? So here is plane P, here is plane Q, and it's kind of a tricky question because these two planes, it doesn't look like they ever touch. It looks like they are parallel to each other, and so they are not ever going to intersect. They intersect 0 times because they are planes and they are not touching. And that's all for today.